All right, this matter is set for 3 o'clock. It's 2:30. Parties are here on both sides, and we thought we would just get right to it. For the first time in a long time, we've got a case where we've got both litigants here in the courtroom. This is a small claims matter. It's entitled James Price versus Action Auto. Are you James Henry Price?
Yes, sir.
What's your name, ma'am?
Mary Ann Price.
And are you here on behalf of Action Auto?
Yes.
Your name is Kennedy Kimo Kanura
Mamiko Kanjira. Yes.
Kanjira.
Yes.
Oh, that's a J. I apologize for mispronouncing it. I'm Judge Middleton. I'm the judge here in this court. Let me tell you some things you need to know. You're here in the small claims division of the 3B District Court. We are presently live on YouTube and we're on the Zoom platform, but there's no formal record being made of a small claims proceeding. You're presently limited to a claim of $6,500. Neither party is allowed to have an attorney in small claims court. There's no formal record being made, as I indicated. There's no formal appeal. There's no appeal. Any decision made in small claims court is final. Either party has the right to remove the matter from the small claims to the general division of the court. But you have to tell me before we begin. Once we begin here, any decision is final. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And you agree, sir? You agree as well?
Oh, yes.
All right, I'm going to ask everyone to please raise their right hand. You all swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right, everybody is sworn. I got the complaint filed by the plaintiff, and the writing was so small I had to strain to see it. But I'll read it as I excruciatingly determined it. Bought car on 10/16/20 with a 12,000 mile warranty on previous work. I started having problems on 12/27/20, 3,000 miles. I set appointment with Action Auto to look at the car on January 7th, 21. Action called and said could not make appointments, so I took the car to Marks Automotive Inc. Marks Automotive Inc. said the car needs a new motor, $2,818 in heater core, $782.16 due to previous work. The car was drivable for a total of 74 days, unserviceable from 12/28/20 to current. I have supporting documents. Car was dropped off on 1/22/21 at Action Auto for service, and so far nothing for 20 days. And the car is still there today, 5/4/28. The claim is for $4,012.70. The car is a 2000 Pontiac station wagon, which I'm guessing is a Montana or something like that, with 124,000 miles on it. The title says vehicle sold as is with no warranty. The purchase price was $4,112, which is the amount plaintiff is claiming in this action. So the fundamental question is whether there is a 12-month warranty or whether there is not. Mr. James, essentially, you're just asking for your purchase money back. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Paperwork here, I have, it's a 12,000 mile warranty on the cylinder head and gasket repair.
All right, would you show that to the officer? All right, that's in here, but I didn't understand what it was. It's a photocopy of a photocopy. All right. Mr. Kanjara, what's your side of the story?
Okay, Mr. Price is right about the time frame that he had the vehicle, and when he bought the car, it had a new, I had installed a new head gasket on the vehicle, and I didn't have to warranty it, but I stand by my work, and I told Mr. Price that I would guarantee the head gasket. Well, when he bought the car, everything was fine. He had heat, everything was good. I drove to his house to drop the car off. He dropped me back off. It was cold out. Everything was working functionally. Now, it developed a different problem, heater core problem, that was not related to the head gasket. And he called me and said that he was losing heat and he wanted me to look at the vehicle. And I'm still backed up from last year. We shut down for a while. I'm the technician, I'm the manager, I'm everything. So I'm basically, I was backed up at that point. And he also needed an oil change. So I said, well, we had made an appointment for an oil change, but there was another vehicle in the shop the day that he was supposed to do his oil change. So I called him up to reschedule for the oil change to a different day. And he told me that he had already gotten that taken care of at another shop. And I didn't think much of it. And then he apparently he had gone to another shop and they had flushed the heater core along with probably an oil change. And so I didn't think much of it. And then he reached out to me again, saying that they told him that the vehicle needed a heater core and the head gasket was blown. And I said, well, a heater core, if these mechanics knew what they were doing, if your heater core is leaking, you're going to have air in the system and that will blow the head gasket, And so I said, at that point, I almost didn't, I had a conversation with him. I almost denied taking it back, but then, I felt, out of the kindness of my heart, I said, you know what, I'll take it and I'll look at it. And so I took it in, and at that point, it had some, few signs of a head gasket. So to be sure, I took it apart, put a different head gasket on it. But there was the original problem, the second problem that caused that, the heater core, which I explained to Mr. Price. And I didn't want to give the car back to him with that issue because he's going to blow the head gasket again. So he had been waiting for a little while because I was backed up. So I thought, that would be nice. So in my free time, I started taking the heater core apart, which is a very long job and a big job. And I had some circumstances beyond my control, and we were robbed. I had to wait, for the insurance company. The vehicle was outside the shop. I couldn't even pull the vehicles that were inside. So for over a month, I'm waiting for an insurance company. So I had, some things that were inconvenient along the way, but I was still working on it. And I was, I called him up. I said, I've got it apart, and they're giving me a wrong part. So I said, well, I'm still putting it together, but I'm doing this in my free time because I didn't want to charge him anything for it. I was actually doing it for free, but I didn't want to take the car to him with that issue because it's going to automatically blow the head gasket again. So in the middle of that, I think I talked to him, and 2 weeks later, I got paperwork from the courts, And at that point, I was frustrated that I just stopped. I had other things to do. I just stopped working on it. And then I reached out to him last week. I said, I would offer to buy the vehicle back from you because he had waited for a while. I understand he needed a ride, and I had some situations that were beyond my control, and I had to look at all that. I said, well, I would offer to buy the vehicle back from you for $3,400, but you have to wait a little bit, because I had a slow week. And he said, well, this was Friday. I think it was Thursday or Friday that we talked. And he said, I said, well, if anything changes over the weekend, I will reach out to you and we can settle out of court. So we had agreed that we would, I would buy the vehicle back from him because I can resell the vehicles. That's not a problem. But I said I would buy the vehicle back from him for $34 plus the court cost, which would be $3,500. But because I have not done that yet, so that's why we're here today.
Well, you've had his car for months. And people generally buy a car because they want to drive it.
Right.
So it was an inconvenience nuisance to you, but it was a real inconvenient nuisance to him. He didn't have a car.
Right.
And so it's sitting there on your lot. Mr. Jones, will you accept $3,400 plus the court costs?
Can I talk to what I have written down here?
Yes.
So the oil change, I tried to get into him because when I bought the car, he said he would service it for me. I said, that's a good deal. I buy a car here, you can service it, everything's great. Made an appointment to make the oil change and he couldn't make it. Okay, so I took it to a local place. So when the heater problem come up, I offered him the first chance to take a look at it, and he couldn't take a look at it. So I took it to Mark's. I don't know if you have this one or not.
I do.
So I took it to Mark because, like you said, I need a vehicle. Right now I'm driving my dog truck, which gets 13 miles a gallon, and that's not what I want to be doing after I wear the tires off of it.
What was this? Was this a Montana?
It was a Vibe, just a little Vibe.
Okay.
It gets
so
roughly 30 miles a gallon.
Okay. That was the Toyota-based Pontiac.
Yes, it's the same drivetrain.
Yeah, okay. All right, go ahead.
So he couldn't get it in the second time for the heater problem, so I took it to Mark. And Mark says, after he looked at the heater core, he said the engine's no good. And so although I keep giving Kennedy the first option to take a look at this, he doesn't think Mark knows what he's doing, but the way it washed out it was the head, and I believe that the head caused the damage to the heater core.
Well, how do you know that it was the head?
Because I took it to Mark, so I don't.
All right, well, what Mark says is hearsay, but let's take a look. It's a chicken or the egg. Your car was sold as is without warranty, but he warranted 12,000 miles on cylinder head gasket repair.
Yes.
So he would repair your cylinder head, not your whole engine.
Correct.
And so somebody says, I can't even read it. What does it say? Can you read it?
Still intermittent heat. Temp goes up. Some white smoke beginning head gasket / crank or cracked. Cracked. So in his guesstimation.
Question mark, and it's a guesstimation.
Yes. So
intermittent heat is better than intermittent breaks.
Absolutely. So, and I don't want to be here. I really don't. And 2 months ago, I offered this same deal to Kennedy. I said, I tell you what, I just sell it back to you for 35. we'll get it over with and go on, and maybe you can still make some money on this car. But at that time, you didn't want no part of that.
All right.
So I would be happy with that, and so I can just kind of move on.
I agree. The court costs are $81.15. So if we go with damages of $34.18, $34.85, $3,418.85 plus 81.15. Is $3,500. $3,418 plus 81.15 in court costs, total judgment of $3,500. Mr. Kennedy, how soon can you pay this?
I'll need at least until next week because
You have 21 days to
Okay.
pay it,
yeah, I'll do
and
that.
then you keep the car.
Okay. And then
Do you need to sign the title back over to you?
Okay.
All right, defendant keeps the car, plaintiff will sign the title over. Don't sign it till you get the check. People like those little Pontiac vibes. I know several people that have one. Maybe this can get rectified. You've had a lot of aggravation. You have a car that basically you've only been able to use for 74 days in the last 10 months. But $3,500 on a car without warranty, with a limited warranty, is probably close to whole. So I'm gonna have the bailiff take you both out to the counter and get a copy of that. You pay that directly to Mr. Price at his home in Vandalia. You can send it by mail. You use a certified check or money order to pay it. When he receives payment, he will sign the title of the car back to you. Then you can repair it and sell it. And he's whole and you're sort of whole, and everybody gets a little bit less than they had hoped. All right, Mr. James, Mr. Price, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Do you, sir?
No.
All right, now the bailiff take you out, and just like we used to do, Marty was pretty good at this.
Let me give this back.
Yes. I will return the exhibits to you. We were able to start early, and that's a plus. All right, I wish you all the best. Hopefully you'll pay that within the next 21 days, sooner the better.
All right.
He'll sign, you got the car, he'll sign the title over.
Yeah, I think he's got some items in there.
Yeah, you may need to get your things out of there.
Like,
All right, very good. Hello, Gene.
Hello, sir. How are you today?
Good. We started a little bit early because the parties were here early. I actually did a hearing in the courtroom. Let me realign the, I have to clean the tables after each hearing, but. All right, let's see what we got here, because some of these we don't have service and some we do.
All right.
On White Pigeon versus Joshua Raymer, we do have service on that one, is that correct?
I'm assuming yes.
6/18/21, he was served. File 21568 FC, the defendant is in the Elkhart County Jail. So we won't be able to hear that case. We'll have to continue it.
Is that the one that is Bradley Steiger?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I knew about that. Thank you.
I probably could have done it virtually, but I'm not gonna try to do that with Elkhart Jail. We have good luck with them.
That's fine. We'll work out the details.
Set that aside for a minute. Benjamin Williams, the note says no service as of last Monday. Do we have any service in that one?
Not that I'm aware of.
White Pigeon Township versus Christina Brooks. Says no service in that one either.
This one has notice to appear. I have a paperwork that was given to me. Not sure about the date.
Well, we'll see whether they show up.
Oh, right here, issued June 14th. Of course, that would be when I put it together. But yeah, that looks to me like that one's been given.
All right, we'll find out.
All right.
Aurelia Cortez, no proof of service as of last Monday.
Nope, we don't have one for that one either.
All right, well, let's adjourn these approximately 30 days.
Okay.
Let's start. I guess we'll wait in case they show up. You never know. So I took care of one case early, which was helpful. I'm going to bring Mr. and Mrs. Hinman in for their case. And we'll do yours first, and then we'll take up theirs.
That's fine.
Good afternoon. Mr. and Mrs. Hinman, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, we're a little early. We're going to deal with several matters that involve White Pigeon Township, and then we'll take up your matter. We started early on one case. Parties were here early, and we started early. So I have to let the clock tick until 3 o'clock before we can take any further action on these. But most of the White Pigeon cases are going to just take a moment or two because we don't have service.
All right, sounds good.
And I don't know whether the Coxes will appear or not. I guess we'll find out.
Okay.
In White Pigeon Township versus Aurelia Cortez, it's a claim for $350.02, no service. The defendant continue approximately 30 days.
Okay.
If she shows up, we can change that.
All right.
White Pigeon Township versus Christina Brooks. No service. Unclaimed being returned to sender.
Wow.
We'll continue for approximately, we'll set all these for the same day.
Okay.
White Pigeon Township versus Benjamin Williams. File number is 21972. He did live at the Young Monroe Trailer Park, claim for $350.02. Again, no service. And continue approximately 30 days to try to obtain service. Then we have Bradley Stager. I think perhaps the Elkhart Jail is going to log in.
Oh,
We adjourned that on June 7th. In notice of hearing with remote participation, additional notice and instructions, statements to Fitzgerald, Unit 24 at the Elkhart County Jail. So let's see whether anybody actually logs in.
okay.
But we sent notice to the jail.
Yeah, I've got copies of the information here.
And then we do have service on Joshua Raymer.
Okay.
1 minute will be.
Mhm.
It is 3 p.m. This is file 21970, White Pigeon Township versus Joshua Raymer. It's a claim for $406.02 plus costs. Ms. Jean Teff, the office manager, person who does everything in White Pigeon Township, is here on their behalf. Ms. Teff, would you raise your right hand?
I'm
You
ready.
swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
This is a claim for service provided by the White Pigeon Township Fire Department. The date of service was September of 20 for $406, vehicle accident with extrication. And that's what you're suing for at this point?
Yes, sir.
Has not been paid by insurance or other source?
No, it has not.
Amanda, was the Elkhart County Jail going to log in on that guy? I'll fine for the plaintiff in the amount of $406.02 plus $41.15 for a total of $447.17. By default, Mr. Raymer was personally served on June 18th.
I don't know. I got all of that paperwork from Bruce on Monday and then I left for vacation. I can call the jail and ask him.
Would you, and A, if he's still there, and B, what his out date is if they know, and C, if they were gonna log in.
Okay.
But here's Charlie. That's probably the defendant in the Hinman case.
What,
Let's see who this
who
is.
was that for?
That would be this dude. You can take it.
Okay, I will let you know as soon as.
Let's see who this is. Whoever it is, they're late. And now they're gone. All right, we'll finish that default in the Raymer case. 44717, I signed the judgment. Amanda has come to us from the probate court doing small claims, doing a very good job. Now she's gonna shift positions and we're gonna have to fill that position again. While we're waiting, let's talk to Mr. and Mrs. Hinman. Matt and Danielle Hinman are the plaintiffs in this case. It's file 21916SC. Mr. Hinman and Mrs. Hinman, would you both please raise your right hand? You both swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes.
I do.
All right, you got the same sunglasses marks that I got from the beautiful week at Fisher Lake.
Yes.
This is a small claims matter. The claim is for $3,779.42 in unpaid rent from October to February of 2020. That doesn't sound right. October of 20 to February of 22. Is that what it should be?
21, yes.
21, yes. We had a landlord-tenant case in this matter,
Yeah.
which was file 201639LT. The parties had COVID and it was a mess, and they were in contact with Keystone, and the Hinmans filled out the paperwork for Keystone, and then they got COVID and they did a CDC moratorium. And at some point they left after February of 2021.
Yes.
Was there an eviction or did they go voluntarily?
They ended up leaving voluntarily. At that point, their lease was just up. We tried everything we could with Keystone, but at that point, they were making too much money from what the girl at Keystone had told me for Keystone to help them.
He was working at R&R Trailers, and I don't remember where she was.
I don't think she was working. I think she was collecting unemployment.
Well, as you know, people were making more money on unemployment
Yes.
than they were working. Anyway, I thought it was a shame. They had small children. They did legitimately have COVID. You've been trying to get them out or get paid for months. And so, Mrs. Hinman, is it your testimony that the unpaid portion of rent from October through February was $3,779.42?
Yes.
Now, the easy part is getting the judgment. The hard part is actually collecting the money. But this judgment is good for 6 years and can be used to garnish wages or other attempts to collect. But I find by default they owe $3,779.42 plus $97.30 in costs for a total of $3,876.72. Have you re-rented this apartment?
We actually sold the building to our neighbors and then I re-rent my salon space.
All right, who bought the building?
Rob and Kirsten Vander Giesen Rietsma.
Oh, interesting. What are they gonna do with it?
So they own World Fair next door to the salon.
Yes,
And our apartment and their apartment shared a hallway. So after the Cox moved out, we had talked to them about purchasing the building and seeing how we shared that hallway. It just kind of made sense to offer it to them first.
oh, good. They're nice people.
They are very great.
You didn't really want to be in the landlord business very much anyway. I don't believe so.
No.
All right, I find for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,876.72. They have 21 days to appeal, well, 21 days to pay. Then you can start collection action, including garnishment of wages, income tax, or just try to set up a payment plan. Our service here, let's see what I've got, was personally served on both parties, Brady and Mandy Cox, by Sergeant Morse.
Yep.
So that's about good a service as it gets. I'm not sure why they aren't here. Maybe they just acknowledged they owe the debt. Anyway, we will send you that judgment to your address there on M60, and after 21 days, you can attempt to collect on it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Not that I can think of.
All right, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you won't have to come back here anymore, at least not for this, but
I hope so.
all right, we'll see you around. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Well, she's checking with Elkhart County Jail, Gene, so just hang with me for a minute and see where we are.
No problem.
I was not able to get a hold of anybody, but no projected out date. His next court date is August 2nd. He's in there like I'm fraud and the bond is $25,000.
Okay, I'll put that on the record. Mr. Stager is presently in the Elkhart County Jail in lieu of a $25,000 cash or surety bond. His next court date is August 2nd. There is no out date, and they weren't able to reach anybody at that jail. I'm going to continue this one 30 days as well. We'll set it as the same date as the other cases.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like he's in much of a position to make any payment on this right now anyway, but we'll see where he is 30 days from now. Frankly, I thought she had attempted to set up a video connection. We'll see where he is. Perhaps we can accomplish it by Zoom or Polycom. All right, thank you, Jean. That's
Thank
all
you,
we
sir.
can do today.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll be leaving now.
Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. I think that concludes our day. All right, that concludes our small claims docket and our day's calendar. Tomorrow we start with criminal arraignments, orders to show cause, a full slate of pre-exam conferences on felony cases,